What's up, guys? Welcome in. This is the Daily Wolves Courtside. We're live right now coming in. We got viewers joining up. We're already 40 people up, and we have a new guest, somebody who hasn't been in the house before. Sarah, you're in here today. You've been a Timberwolves fan for a long time. I guess first, before we kind of get the show started, you're a new face to everybody. Where can they find you on social media and kind of see what you've been up to and your tweets on the Minnesota Timberwolves?
Yeah, so my social media is just my name, Sarah Bernick underscore. Same for Instagram and Twitter, so you can find me there. Basically just tweeting about the Wolves, links, anything basketball related. So if you're into that, I'm here.
I've seen some of your videos with you hooping, maybe having a glass of wine before a game, getting locked in, talking hoops and everything like that. What
Mhm.
kind of got you into being a fan? And then obviously I saw you hooping. Like, did you play basketball in the past?
Yeah, no, I played basketball basically my whole life, so obviously that kind of made me want to watch more basketball. But yeah, when I was a kid, my dad and my brother kind of introduced me to sports. And then living in Minneapolis, you'd go to Timberwolves games. I kind of started watching during the KG era, so like, and then I lived through the down years. So we're here. It's exciting to be relevant again. And
Ooh.
yeah.
No, it is. It's an exciting time to be a fan. I grew up in the KG era, so the trip as well.
For sure.
Obviously, like those stadiums back in the day, packed, fun with the team. 8
Yep.
years in the playoffs with Kevin Garnett, as you
Yeah.
know. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like that vibe, that feeling through the crowd and everything like that. When you went to the arena, you could feel it.
Yeah,
It's kind of like what we're feeling right now, huh?
exactly. It's like running through my veins. I don't know how to explain it, but like I feel it within me.
Right? No, and it gets you hype. And 2 years in a row to the West Finals, the first time in franchise history that they've going. Trip, you've been there too. From the thick and thin, man, through everything. And now they have a guy kind of like Kevin Garnett, but Anthony Edwards, guys. He's been fun. He's electric, man. I think he's getting a little too much hate right now from the national media. Trip, how special is Anthony Edwards, man, and how special how special is he to Minnesota, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, to the first part of that question, I'd say he's special enough on the court that, in game one and game two, when he kind of fell flat, I wouldn't even say fell flat, but his energy wasn't fully there. It
Hmm.
affected the entire game for everyone. The energy was off for the whole squad. So he's incredibly important when he comes out strong like he did game three. The rest of the team stayed strong and the energy was right. And then for the city, I mean, it's the biggest superstar they've had since KG across all sports. I mean, you could say Justin Jefferson, but they haven't really accomplished what the Timberwolves have with the Vikings. So he's the face of Minnesota sports, and hopefully he can tie it up for us tonight.
Before we go into the game three reaction, before previous game when Minnesota belt to ass the Oklahoma City Thunder, Sarah, I got to get your opinion on Anthony Edwards' trip. He obviously loves Ant. We've seen him; he's so special this year. Sarah, like, what have you seen out of Ant that might make you feel like he could be better than what even KG gave Minnesota? And what would you say, Sarah? Like, if you were going to compare Anthony Edwards to Kevin Garnett, all-time grades of what they've done for the franchise, success rate, everything like that, would you say Anthony Edwards he's surpassed Kevin Garnett already at this young age, or does Ant have a long way to go? Like, how do you feel about Ant, Sarah?
Honestly, I feel like Ant is 23 years old, and he's
Yep.
already back-to-back conference finals. He's already up there in like playoff points franchise history. Like I think that if he's not there already, he easily will be there by the end of his career.
Yep.
But like Tripp said, like he is really the key to everything that the Timberwolves do. They go through him. Like he sets the tone for everything, and the city's really behind him. Like he is the city's sports superstar. So it's just exciting to have somebody that young, and for him to be that young and be the leader that he is. I think that he's put Minnesota on a trajectory that I am not familiar with being a Minnesota sports fan. So like it's exciting. I really have a appreciation for Ant for sure.
100%. We're living in an era where Justin Jefferson and Anthony Edwards play just like Kevin Garnett and Randy Moss. So it's
Yeah.
like, well, what an era. And then we got Kirill Kaprizov, all these different players in
Got the
Minnesota
feast of
right now,
Collier
right?
links, you know.
Yep. Yep.
Exciting.
Shout out to Fee. She's going crazy right now. That's the MVP every single game. 33 points the other game. What a phenomenal time for Fee.
Right.
Wolves win game three, Sarah. They come out, they belt to ass Oklahoma City Thunder. They come back to Target Center. When they're kind of erupting, the crowd's erupting. Julius Randle said, "We're home." Anthony Edwards came out. This is Minnesota. We're home right now. What did how did you feel watching the game through the television? Could you feel like the energy, like describe it to the fans?
Absolutely. Like, I think that Ant came out, set the energy, set the pace of the game. I think that the flow of the game was something that was really good for us. They let us be physical, you know what I mean? Like, we were allowed to catch like a flow, and then it allowed us to build off of that. Just like that's how we've been playing all season. Once we catch a flow, like, we're really hard to beat. The first 2 games, we didn't really get that same energy, that same vibe. We didn't catch our flow. We weren't hitting our shots. So, like, just to see it happen in the first quarter the way that it did, I kind of was a little not as nervous watching the rest of the game after I watched that first quarter. So, definitely, I think that our bench players came out and did what they needed to do. Terrence Shannon Jr., shout out to him. He played incredible. I think that whole game, beating the number 1 defense in the NBA by 43 points is just got to be a confidence boost, right? So, like, that's what I take away from that is we needed a win like that for the series to have a chance.
Terrence Shannon Jr., you brought him up. Trip, that's your boy, man. Why do you like TSJ so much, Trip? I thought Sarah made a lot of great points about everything as well. TJ, the physicality, man. That was a game that you could just feel it, and it favors Minnesota. If the refs are going to let the game be physical, that favors the Timberwolves, I think. Trip, elaborate on it, man. I know it's your boy. I know you text me about him. Why do you like Terrence Shannon Jr. so much, man?
From an emotional perspective, I went to Texas Tech, and he had a great run there before transferring to Illinois. So that's my guy. Always love my Texas Tech boys. Shout out Jarrett Culver. Didn't work out quite like this one is, but no, I think he's a ball of energy on the court. When game 1 and 2, the energy was sucked out of the Timberwolves legitimately. Like, they looked just defeated early. Even when they, I would even argue even when it was close in the first quarter, first half where they kind of collapsed later in the game, the energy was off. He's a guy that's going to lightning in a bottle. He's going to come out on the court. He might not make the shots. He might not have like 9 quick points like he did the other night or 8 or whatever it was. But he's going to at least take good shots really quickly. He's going to be a spark plug. He brings in energy that I don't think this bench has. I think there's a lot of talent on the bench. Naz Reid is certainly the 6th man of the year a year ago. Dante DiVincenzo broke the Knicks record for threes, etc. There's talent on the bench, but there's no energy, ball of energy that can make that type of impact for a team when they're lifeless, quite like Terrence Shannon can. And by the way, he's a very skilled offensive player. Oh, by the way, also defensively, he's equally as talented. So that's a guy that I think you might have just saw the first night of something special, in the sense that I think moving forward for the next X amount of years, he's going to be a pivotal rotational piece, and I'm looking for him to see a decent amount of minutes tonight. I might argue that maybe he's the first guy off the bench tonight.
I mean, I hope so. I hope he gets more minutes. I hope Finch plays him. I hope he's learned. He's talked about that in the post-game press conference. Chris Finch said he's going to play TSJ. He's going to get more minutes. It's going to happen. But we'll see. We'll see what happens tonight. Now Oklahoma City has more film on TSJ. Will that matter? I'm not really sure, but he's physical, man. I think Minnesota doesn't have enough points in the paint in this series earlier in the first 2 games. I thought they were hesitant. They weren't aggressive. We saw that out of the last game, the way that Anthony Edwards came out, the way that Julius came out and had a great game. The whole team, Dante was hitting early shots. Naz Reid was hitting some shots. Like, they just came with that mentality, man. And that's what TSJ is, man. That's really what he is. He brings that physicality, that driving force, slasher, downhill guy, one of the guys who was the highest free throw rates in college basketball when he was there. Probably would have won National Player of the Year. A steal at pick 27. I posted a video about it earlier and posted on RX that when I was at Summer League covering the Timberwolves, we were all so excited to see Rob Dillingham play. He was the shiny toy, man, the number 8 pick that the Timberwolves traded up to be. And we go to the first game. We're all sitting there, and I still remember it like it was yesterday, and just seeing Terrence, and I was like, holy crap, like up close. I'm 20, 30 feet away from Terrence. He's walking by us. We're basically courtside, and I'm like, this guy is big. Like, he looks like he's not a kid, which he isn't. He's 23 coming in as a rookie. And I remember thinking about it and just being like, he's ready. Like, physicality was great. He was faster than most people. His first step was elite. And he was awesome and electric in summer league. And then after the game, we go out. I run into Michael Grady. Obviously everybody knows who Michael Grady is. And then me and Grady talk, and I'm like, we're both just thinking the same thing. We're like, yo, TJ is actually so cold, man. And we're just shooting stuff back and forth. And we're like, we came to see Rob Dillingham, and like we find this guy I pick 27, and we're like, the Wolves got to steal. Then I go talk to some other people, and the whole buzz around the guys that were there covering the Wolves was Terrence Shannon Jr. Holy crap, they found a gem. And that was the buzz. It wasn't Rob Dillingham. It was, who is this kid? He's amazing. Holy crap. And people just are like, he's ready. He's physical. And that's the authentic buzz of Terrence Shannon Jr. when we're at NBA Summer League. We're going to go to a quick ad read break, and we'll be right back with everybody.
It's playoff time in Minnesota. The energy is electric, the stakes are high, and every move counts. You can feel it, right? The momentum, the nerves, the is this really happening buzz. The spring real estate market in the Twin Cities has the same kind of energy. Headlines are flying out about interest rates, the economy, and what's coming next. It's exciting, yes, but also confusing and a little bit overwhelming. Whether you're thinking about buying, selling, or just wondering if that Zestimate is lying to you, don't overthink it. Go to wolvesrealtor.com and connect with Heather. She's not just a fan in the stands. She's on the court every day with Exit and North Star Realty, reading plays, adjusting the strategy, and helping people make confident moves, not panicked ones. Even if you're just curious or unsure about the next step, wolvesrealtor.com is where you start. No pressure, just real talk, real answers, and a game plan that actually works. Because when it comes to real estate, just like basketball, having the right coach makes all the difference. Go check out wolvesrealtor.com and tell them Matt from the Daily Wolves sent you.
Man, shout out Heather. That's your place to go if you need anything hooked up here in the spring realtor market. Sarah, obviously the Timberwolves, they lost the first two games. Who would you say out of your eyes, it could be anybody in the team, kind of what's been the most disappointing, maybe who's been the most disappointing that you're hoping can turn it around moving forward in the series?
I think in my opinion, it's been Dante DiVincenzo. He's so good, and watching him throughout this playoffs has just been so disappointing because I know what he's capable of. I think like his plus minus in the playoffs has been like minus 34, which is just unreal because he's Dante DiVincenzo, you know what I mean? Like he's a knockdown shooter. He's a spark off the bench. Or at least he was in the regular season. So I'm ready for him to kind of have a game tonight. And that's, I think, one of the keys to maybe us taking game 4 is our bench coming off with a spark. And that's going to be Dante DiVincenzo. That's going to be Naz Reid. That's going to be Nickeil Alexander-Walker. That's going to be Terrence Shannon Jr., hopefully, if he gets more minutes. But I think that our bench is definitely the key. And I think that Dante DiVincenzo has definitely not played to his ability yet. So I'm hoping that he remembers who he is and can play well for us tonight.
I like that. I love Dante. We love Dante DiVincenzo on this pod. He's been struggling, but that's our guy. Trip, who do you have as your kind of most disappointing player?
Yeah, I mean, I would have to agree on Dante, but if I'm going to go outside of that, I mean, he stepped it up a little bit last game, but Naz Reid for sure has to build on game 3, like where he made some threes, finally made a 3-pointer. He has to build on the confidence from that to game 4 tonight. Has to be there because we need Naz Reid to make big shots off the bench because Na has been solid throughout the season, etc. He's had his ups and downs in the playoffs, but in terms of sharp shooters off the bench, Naz Reid is that. And with Dante seemingly being unable to make shots consistently, Naz Reid has to deliver. And I think he showed signs of that last game, but definitely game 1 and 2, major disappointment. And I think if the Wolves want to have a performance, even a fraction as good as they did last game, I think it's going to come down to Naz and Dante having big games. They're both due. Naz, again, did have a much better game 3 than game 1 and 2, but I think both those guys need big nights tonight.
I think they win tonight if one of those two that you guys named has an X factor big game tonight. Yeah. They change everything. One of them, if they're going to go over 20 tonight, or let's just say even like 16, 17 points, Minnesota's going to win out that. I think you need that. They need to build that confidence, and that's going to set them up for later in the series. That's a key thing that's going to get them to win in this series. I know we talk about the starters, guys, But those, if they come to bat, if Dante and Nas can rebound right now and they can come back, because I think Nikhil is kind of starting to rebound right now. He's had 2 solid games in a row. That could be the recipe for Minnesota to be, make this series a long one, if not win the series, and kind of strike that fear among the NBA of one of the only few teams that have come back under 2-0. One of the examples, Kawhi Leonard with the Raptors back in the day here. Who's been the most impressive to you, Sarah, then of the players so far, since we talked about obviously the players before being the most disappointing? Who's impressed you the most, I guess, in the series?
I've got to go with Jaden and Julius. Like Jaden
Okay,
has mental toughness to be the primary defender on SGA. That takes a lot. It takes a lot. And for him to be contributing offensively, I think he had like 28 points game 1, 22 points game 2, and maybe 10 yesterday. But everybody was, or not yesterday, 2 days ago. Everybody was contributing though. But for him to be like that guy that's primarily defending SGA and then also contributing offensively, like that's huge. And then Julius Randle, I think, has been the most consistent player throughout the playoffs for us, to be completely honest with you. And for him to have the mental toughness to come back from getting benched game 2 to dropping, what did he drop, 24 on Saturday?
Yep.
That's huge. Like that's that leadership and mental toughness that we need. So I think Julius and Jaden have definitely been the guys that have been kind of keeping us in it. And then obviously Ant, but like Ant's like our superstar, so that's kind of expected of him, as much as that's a little unfair sometimes. But like, yeah, I think Julius and Jaden for sure.
How about you, Trip? What do you think, man?
I'd go Julius. He's just been kind of that rock when Ant's had his down moments, etc. He's been the guy that has been consistent, to Sarah's point. Jaden, what he's had to do, especially with the fouls, like to her point, it's a great point in the sense that like when you're getting those whistles for unjustifiable calls, it's like for him to keep his cool. I loved the push, actually. I thought that was awesome.
Yeah.
I fucking wish he would. I fucking
Honestly,
love that.
The push might have been the turnaround of the series. To be real, like I think that push was like, all right, I've had enough. Like we got to lock in. Like they can't beat us on foul baiting. Like this is embarrassing.
Yes.
Yep.
I love that.
Yep. So I got to go with I Julius for sure. Jaden, I do love that pivotal turning point of the push, but Julius needs to keep doing what he's doing. He's kind of looking like that Robin. Hot take. I think he's an elite number 3 option. Still need a Robin in Minnesota, but it's neither here nor there. But he's played like an elite number 2, and we need to continue to see that.
There could be keys to winning tonight in game 4 here in Minnesota. We'll get to that in a second, guys, and what we believe could get the Timberwolves to win tonight. But we got to do a quick ad read real quick, and that's with our friends over at SeatGeek, man. We love SeatGeek. We're partnered with SeatGeek. Shout out to them. By the way, they always hook us up with tickets. They're getting us into the best events in town, and that's your go-to place. And if you need any tickets to your next sporting event, concerts, Matt's not on right now, but Matt's a big Taylor Swift fan. So we always shout out Matt and the Tease Swiftie he is. But go to SeatGeek, man, and put in promo code The Daily Wolves, all one word, on SeatGeek. You're going to get hooked up with $20 off your next order on SeatGeek. It's that easy, man. We're hooking you guys up. We're also partnered with Better, the best sports betting app out there. If you want to go out, bet on the game tonight, bet Ants over under, SGA, figure out anything with sports betting, Better app is the place to go. Type in BETR on your app store. Put in promo code The Daily SPN, all one word, on Better, and you're going to get hooked up with a $77 deposit match. It's going to be 100% deposit match up to $77 in your first deposit. Shout out to Better for hooking us up, guys. My favorite part about Better, I'm tired of losing my parlays, man. I'm so tired of losing different things because one player gets hurt, but they do injury revives on Better. That's the best thing. I don't know a lot of apps that do that. So if a player gets hurt tonight, it doesn't matter, man. They'll revive you, and you're still going to have a chance to win your parlay. Shout out to Better for hooking us up. Again, that's promo code The Daily SPN. One of the guys says Mike Conley. He's going to be vital in this. Mike Conley's been awesome. Plus minus has been great. He's kind of the leader of the team. He's the veteran. He could be an X factor, guys. He could be one of the reasons Minnesota wins. Do you believe in Mike Conley, Sarah, and how is he as a leader, and how important is Mike Conley to potentially getting a win tonight?
Yeah, for sure. I think just the veteran experience of somebody that's been there, to keep the cool of the team. Like he's always kind of been that guy for us to to just keep everybody's head in the game. And lately he's been knocking down the shots. He's been playing really well. So I think that that's a great point that Mike Conley could be a key factor to victory for sure.
What do you think of Conley tonight, Trip? Is it going to be Conley for you in the veteran leadership? Is he going to have a big game, kind of the underrated 3-point shooting game? Or is it going to be, some other player tonight besides maybe like Nasri, who you mentioned earlier, that's going to kind of step up tonight and give the Timberwolves their big win?
Yeah, I mean, I think for Conley, he's great when things go awry to keep the composure, on the court and in the huddle. But he needs to make some shots tonight. I need him in double digits for the Timberwolves to have a shot, right? I mean, his plus minus is great, but he needs 12 points. That's just the harsh reality. You don't need him to be the primary scorer tonight. Don't even be the third primary scorer. Need him to be a guy that can get me double digits, efficient night like he's been. But really, he's got to make those open threes when they're there because they're giving them to him, and he has to hit those for us to have a chance.
We'll see if Conley can do it, guys. Sarah, it's been awesome having you on. Trip, it's awesome having you on as always, man. You can follow us. We're on Spotify, Apple. Just search the Daily Wolves. You can find us on all different social media platforms. We're on TikTok, Instagram, X, everything, wherever you're watching from, YouTube. It's going to be fun to watch the Timberwolves play tonight, guys. Hopefully they can pull off a big win at home. Even the series, you never know what can happen in sports. As always, guys, go Wolves.